Like I said just a minute ago, I identify with duck and cover when it comes to networking. Hello, my name is Todd Wall, and welcome to Communication Makeover, where we believe that intentional communication will lead to the breakthrough you're looking for, both in your business and in your life. We're talking about networking. We're talking about meeting new people. And we're talking about the anxiety that comes with it. The fear is that you go through the pain of being there, but you hide to the point where you don't actually accomplish anything. If you're going to be there, you need a strategy to actually accomplish something. And it's all about being intentional. So join us now continue this conversation in the coaching session with Deirdre and Michelle and talking about how to get over the nerves of networking. Here we go.
Let's talk about you. So now that you have shared what happens when somebody else comes up, you mentioned looking for real connection, clear goals. So if somebody has clear goals, chances are you want to have clear goals as well. And you do like the niceties of conversation. Maybe it feels good to have some of those icebreakers. Could you envision a situation where maybe you could walk into a networking event with those three parts in front of you, rather
Yeah.
than just going in and having to think, oh no, who am I going to talk to and what am I going to do? So tell me what it would feel like to have a real connection.
I mean, that to me feels so like relaxed, right? Like it's once you kind of know, once you have that point of connection, whether it's we went to the same school, we know the same person, we're in the same field, we've lived in the same place, like it just gives you an opportunity to kind of grow from there. Um, to me, that's like the best place to be, right? Because you're talking about real life experiences, things that aren't so straight to that business relationship, but give you all of the like the soft skills that you want in a good working relationship, right? That you're able to like find that connection, find common ground, and hopefully like maybe it's people in common, but you begin to sort of build out from a strong base. It's not kind of that A to Z, like I just want to work with someone. I'm just looking for someone who does this sort of fast track approach.
Okay. And when you have, so let's leave networking just for a second and think about your career in communications and even think about being a reporter. How did you go about setting out and making connections? Because you went from, at some point in your career, you were a junior professional, and now you certainly are a seasoned, more senior professional. How did you get there? Tell me about making connections with people
Sure.
outside of networking.
I Yeah, so I think as a reporter, it's really easy. It's sort of like deceptively easy. And when I've seen other people jump from like journalism to PR, this is what they don't understand. When you're a reporter, everybody wants to talk to you. Everybody, like you are the star of the show every day. The phone is ringing. You call someone, they call you back right away. You have a platform that they want and need. Whereas when you're in PR, like you can be a nuisance to some of those reporters. You can be a nuisance to your clients if you kind of don't understand the way they work. And my approach to like relationship building with clients has always been a lot of listening, a lot of thoughtful advice. But really, I found my best clients' relationships happen when like something has gone horribly awry and now we have to get it back on track. Like I think that's where you really get the proof of the relationship. And it's that opportunity to show that, hey, all these things that I said I was when times were great, like that's who I actually am as a person and a professional. And I can prove that to you in this moment. Even when tensions are high, even when there's a lot on the line, you can kind of like really show who you are. And I like, it doesn't always feel great in the moment, but that's where my best clients relationships have been and have really grown from.
And that starts with listening. You
Mm-hmm.
pinpointed something that I really want to focus on with you. The ability to listen is a skill that is unmatched. And now so you've had success. You have listened to clients, you have helped them through countless situations. When you go to a networking event, what do you think about listening? So even though you go there and you think you have to speak, talk to me about
Yeah.
listening.
Yeah. I feel like I lose all art of conversation, right? It's, you have your questions that you run through, but I get so nervous or just like so caught up in what I'm going to say that I forget to listen to what people are telling me.
And
So yeah, that would be a detriment in networking because I'm losing the thing that makes me good at what I do.
right. So if you were to perhaps reframe the situation, and what would happen if you went into the networking situation as, I think I'm just going to listen? Because as a communications professional to communications professional, we've probably figured out how much people like to talk and to share. And in that networking session, networking event, if you ask the right questions and open it up a certain way, what's the probability that you would listen and make a connection? Is it a higher probability than perhaps going in with, what am I going to say?
Oh, absolutely. And my mind is going to like better questions, right? To get to that real conversation and not, what do you do? like,
Right.
but
And that is probably the number one question that people ask. But there is a technique. Have you ever heard of Ford? The Ford
mm-mm.
technique? Well,
No,
you
I
can
haven't.
use it in any networking situation. It's talk about family. You can talk about occupation, but in terms of goals, you can talk about R is recreation, and D is dreams, or what do you aspire to do or be. And that little four technique, you could just circle through it over and over again
Yeah, that's
when
great.
you're at any event, or you meet somebody for the first time, and you'll find how much people like to talk. So now we're on this listening track, right? So you kind of
Yeah.
see how listening might make a difference. You also said goals. And you're in communications. How do you get to goals? And what do you tell clients about goals?
It's a complicated conversation. I find like I always think of that Steve Jobs quote that like people don't really know what they want. You have to show them what they want. And I think when you ask people about goals, they will often give you a safe answer or what they think you want to hear. So many times my conversation about goals is really about like what would be exciting for you? What is going to like light you up to work on? What's going to have a transformational impact on your business? Like what are the problems that you're really wrestling with now that if they went away tomorrow would give you so much free time to focus on other things? So I mean, I think there's a place to getting down to really like timelines and KPIs and all that good stuff. But when you're talking about goals in the communications realm, I think it really is about helping people dream a new dream, come up with something that maybe they haven't thought of yet. That isn't, very few executives dream about a press release or one specific media hit, but like they have a big idea somewhere that they want to communicate. It's why they do what they do, even if it's not the core of their business. So I think getting to that is also a testament to listening, but like just kind of asking some different questions and getting people to think a little more broadly than what they're used to day to day.
Deirdre, did you notice the nerve switch when she went from being nervous to, oh, I think, yeah, I know how to do this? You took it out
Yes.
of context. It's that tool of going, let's talk about an area where you do have it under control. Her countenance, everything changed at that point. What did you notice?
I noticed that too, because we started the conversation where she was saying how she used to be the star as a reporter. And then when you switch over to PR, you're the nuisance. And then as soon as we got on that listening track,
Yeah.
something began, it changed. She realized that, oh, maybe if I go in with the right questions, I can just listen. And then the goals, dream a new dream. It's saying have a new goal or set of goals for your networking. It's different. So
It, it,
something is starting to take shape.
it absolutely is. And just the one technique of the Ford technique just has something she had in her hands, just to know so you don't feel flat-footed. It's like the person who gets on stage, they're nervous they're going to forget what they're going to say, and that's the biggest anxiety. When reality is we know our message, we just have to be free enough to let it out. She connected with, well, yeah, I used to be a reporter. I professionally ask questions.
Yes.
And so
And
you could
felt good
see
about
that. You could see that confidence. She's like, oh, there's so many questions I would ask. And but even just having that Ford technique in her pocket, it's almost like a security blanket. Yeah, it is. It is helpful.
Because you can just cycle through it. And once you know that you can pull that out of your pocket, it makes it a lot easier. And once you start, you might not even get through the entire Ford. People can get stuck on the R in the recreation.
You can choose which one is going to apply.
Talk.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes. I think she's realizing that she can make some real connections. It's just going to take a different approach.
And going back to what we talk about all the time, it's all about authentic communication in the first place, about being open enough for transparent. It's like your heart is open. And if you're up here on stage, you're not going to connect and have authentic communication. Same thing is true with networking. And that's where I think is really where we're leading. So, all right, everybody, you see the intentional approach that unlocks everything. Keep watching, stick with us. We're going to keep getting even more intentional and watch the puzzle that was anxiety just begin to loosen right up. We'll be right back.